Ah, my good and dear friends. This is Londo Molare, and I'm watching the Bad News Bards. By the way, I hear the Psy Corps is looking for you. I would hate very much if they found you.
Well, hello, Cam.
Good evening, Jeff, and good evening to anyone who might be watching, and to the Bad News Bard Show.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week or so, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh my God! And of course, last week we had to run a replay, but that's okay because it was on the heels of something, and we have some news to announce about that I was free to share. Some exciting news from Emperor's Choice. I think that everybody is going to be eager to hear. So, with that, we're in the waiting room. Speaking of that, we've got somebody to bring on here, and without further ado, we've
Oh,
got the Scourge of the North himself. What's up, man?
oh my God.
good evening.
Oh my God!
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, so, yep, a sad day in the week. I mean, look at all those people that died that we knew from our youth.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was a rough week. For all of us Gen Xers, man. Yeah, I'm here in East Tennessee, so it was especially hard for losing Dolly, of course.
Yeah, well, I mentioned on, I think it was Nerd Cognito that I was like, who didn't have a boyhood dream of being with Dolly? You know what I mean?
What's funny is when I lived in Las Vegas, I was 21 and I lived out in part of Vegas called Sunrise
Mhm.
on the east side of town. We lived near the Air Force Base, right?
Luke, yep.
In fact, my roommate was a former Thunderbird ground crew, actually, and well, one of them was. His wife worked for one of the defense contractors. But at any rate, I used to refer to the two little mountains that were over on the Sunrise side of town as the Dolly Parton Mountains. So I'm not kidding. Totally, that's like yeah, you over by the Dolly Parton Mountain. It's the Sunrise Mountains, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody is like, yeah, that does kind of wow. So, oh, and then of course we lost Optimus Prime
Yep.
and a couple other folks.
Yeah, I'm
There was
old enough that I was the, what was it? Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was introduced to him, so.
Yeah,
Tim
we
Curry.
we we lost Tim Curry too. And you know what's funny is and I double checked this last night. I mentioned it a couple times. Other than Rocky, Tim Curry was in a lot of stuff.
Oh God, he was all over. He was prolific.
He was very prolific, and a lot of people don't even realize he was in video games too.
Oh, a lot of those. I was watching something the other day, and I recognized the voice, and I said, "Honey, that's what's his face's voice." And she goes, "Who?" And I said, "It was Riker from Star Trek. And I said, that's
Yeah.
his voice. I know it is. And it was like, and we went searching and like, I got it right, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but at any rate, so you've got a couple of things that you're working on right now, right?
Oh, I got lots of things I'm working
You
on.
got a lot of irons in the fire. So tell us, I guess, since we only got you for about 30 minutes,
Mhm.
uh, what's the current thing that's going on?
All right.
Can you talk about
Well,
that?
I got a couple different things going on, but the first one is the Maleficent Grimoire, my tome of evil, as some have been saying, especially my group here in Minnesota, has been like, we don't want to see that book. Nope, don't pull out that book. We don't.
Right?
They absolutely love seeing this book come up on the table. So other DMs, if you're looking for something that they hate, this is it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's sort of my ode to everything evil. I mean, I just don't think we have enough evil spells. We got plenty of creatures, but there's different things we say in it, like use of poisons, uses of curses. I got evil necromancer spells up to, oh, lost the video here,
No, that's me. I'm working on something here.
up to 8th level. We got monsters in there I've used in my campaign. And what else do we have in there? God, I can't remember. Spells, poisons, creatures, magic items. There we go. Magic items. And the magic items, some of these have been done by TSR alum. Rob Kuntz, David Wesley, Mike Carr, and I've got one in here from Mark Reinhardt, or Reinhagen was the guy from Vampires in the Masquerade, and a couple others have contributed to this book. So it's all inside here. That and then they'll all be signing these books at DaveCon this year. So all these guys
Okay.
I've invited will be coming, except for Rob Kuntz, who will be in 2028. He's already committed to 2020.
Has he really? Okay. Now, let me tell you, man, I have been trying to get Rob on my show for a while now. If you got an in, let him know
Well,
we're not bad.
let me just say, I'm working on something with Rob that's going to be a big deal, but I can't do anything yet because all the legal paperwork hasn't
Sure.
been filed out and everything else, and I've got to go through that stuff tomorrow with him and stuff like that. Maybe by the next week we'll be able to announce something, but we're working on that. It's a work in progress, sort of
I
thing.
was told I needed to flip you around, so I flipped you around.
All right, well, flip me around, but
um, but thanks, Agile. Good to see you in the chat. I hope you're feeling well. And no one of consequence, my buddy out there. He's always putting together some great videos as well. So
but
tell us all about this Maleficent Grimoire. I'm
well,
excited for this.
I've started gaming 1977, 78. My mother brought home Dungeons and Dragons, put it underneath the Christmas tree, and next thing I know, I'm over at my friend Paul's house for every weekend for years.
Right.
And we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we advanced into advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and we've been playing since then. And as some people know, I was friends with Ernie Gygax and some of those guys. So I built up DaveCon, which is my convention up here in Minnesota.
Right.
So that's how I get to know all these people that are in the business
Sure.
and stuff like that. And you know, and I try to put on an old school convention. I don't try to put on a fashion derby for the what do you want to call these? What do you call the people that dress up in costumes at a convention?
Cosplay.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
Cosplayers. I don't put on the cosplay thing.
Oh,
I don't. And it's like, no, we're gaming here, and that's what the main focus is I don't want to have that distraction of cosplay and everything else. I'm trying to bring in next year. I'm trying to bring in the Minnesota regulars, which is the miniatures, the Napoleonic miniatures.
oh
I've got
yeah.
a whole room set aside for that stuff, where we're going to bring in Napoleonic miniatures and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to get a hold of the creator of Memoir 44 at this current time to see if I can bring him in so he could play that board game. Which was one of Dave Arneson's favorites. They went up to David Wesley's all the time, and they played that one, and I want to try to get him to bring up his D-Day invasion scenario, which is one of
Okay.
mine that I've just
So,
been.
so you focus on all the Daves. Now, I just literally got off the phone with George and Dave from Emperor's Choice a little bit ago.
Yeah,
And of course, they're a sponsor of my show, and of course, they've got a Dave of their own too that they like to talk about, Dave
right.
Hargrave. So,
And,
Dave,
they are considering coming to DaveCon next year with
they
us.
are, they are, we were talking about that too. So,
So I'm trying to facilitate that. Not, and there's so many wheels within wheels when you run a convention. It's amazing that, I get all of it put together by the time the convention comes around,
I'm gonna hit you up too because I'm in the process of planning. I don't know if you noticed the intro or not, but did you see Smokey Con was on there?
Yes, I did. And I've given you some advice about it so far. And,
Yep, yep.
and you don't want to be too far from an international airport or an airport because
Well,
you know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. It's like, well, but
well,
so when is the Maleficent Grimoire? I mean, you're trying to do it on a Kickstarter, and it's got less than 48 hours to go at this point.
right. If
Um,
it doesn't fund, I'm going to be sending emails out no matter what to everybody who's a sponsor on there,
mhm,
and they'll be getting between like a 20% discount for DaveCon next year. And
okay,
I will have the books at the convention. I might even have them by the other local old school con here called ArnieCon.
yep,
I'll
that's
be
Griff's
bringing,
Con, right?
huh?
That's Griff Morgan Con.
Griff,
Right? That's his
Griff
con. Yeah.
Morgan's con. I'll be bringing maybe a 20 books or something like that to that one, and people can get them signed there and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got, and then if it doesn't pass, I'm just going to go straight from what it is right now to the 184 page version. I
Okay.
have 184 pages of stuff, not including, I'm working on something else, something special for
Right.
the for the book, and I haven't got Rob Kuntz's stuff in there, and I got a couple other spells I have to drop in. So it's going to be anywhere from 186 to 200 pages that are going to be in there.
That's a fairly healthy, decent thing.
Right.
Um,
Oh
you know.
well, yeah. And it's not, little tiny print. Everybody remembers the 80 stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's not a little print, as you could see. It's readable. You don't have to, you know what I mean? It's not this. Okay, I got to get out my cheaters and get down there and try to figure it out. Oh yeah,
I was going to talk about this after you left, but talk about the tiny print. Yeah. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
yeah. Uh,
And I did it mainly for guys my age because I'm just like, okay, I'm sick of having to take my glasses off, put them at the end of my nose, read something, come back up and go, all right, here's what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
So yes, it might be a little bigger print, and yes, there's some stuff here, but it's all usable stuff. I mean, I think I sent you a pre-PDF sort of thing to your something before. I sent you an email maybe or something.
I'll have to hunt for it. If not, we'll talk about that. But we do have a question from my buddy Dan.
Yep.
He wants to know what's the size of the book. He says it's hard to tell from
Oh, this is your
your holding up.
standard, just like the
Eight and
dungeon
a half by
master guide.
11.
Yeah, 8.5 by 11,
Look at that.
same size.
So look at that. So it's a regular full size. So that's good.
Yeah, I
And
don't like
like
I don't like to have the tiny books. You know what I mean? Then it just gets even harder to do it stuff because it's going to be that much thicker, and so
yeah,
and when I do stuff, and just so people know, when I do this kind of stuff, I always get a couple pre-copies at each stage so that I make sure everything is, you know what I mean? Everything's correct all the way through the book. Because once you start production, it's like, oh boy, here we go. You know what I mean? You
right.
find those errors and stuff. Sort of like you look in the monster manual or the player's handbook or the DMG, you could tell they try to do all the editing they can, but you still find mistakes. And I try to get through my book. I've probably been through it 8-9 times already, trying to
Sure,
get
sure.
corrections and stuff like that.
And so right now, you've got a couple of different pledges there. And right now you've got everything in so the low tier, what is the $35 tier?
No, I've got a PDF tier in there
Oh,
too.
okay.
So.
Let me see. Was that? Oh, that was that the first
And
one.
it might bring that up to the DTRPG, but I hate supporting WotC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not my billowhack. I sorry if you're a WotC fan. I'm not a WotC fan at all because I consider them plagiarists. I mean, when they take old modules and rewrite them and then put somebody else's name on it, and then they inside it, the cover, they don't even acknowledge who wrote it in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
It's like, hold it, 90% of this book was written by so and so. All you do is edit it, put 5e stuff on it, and called it your own. That's
Right.
plagiarism, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? So
I absolutely get it. That, and we'll talk about that later on, but there was some recent news that came out that I don't think any of us were surprised to hear.
you mean the Dark Sun nonsense?
Yeah. Oh Lord. I mean, we figured they were going to screw it up.
Oh, I knew they were going to screw it up as soon as I
Sure.
first heard about it.
I did too.
But
Yeah.
they're gonna murder it. So I was never a Dark Sun guy, but I've read through the material and I got a little bit of it here in my collection. But I'm just like, how do you edit something that far out of?
It won't be anything the same. And I mean, to the point where I even heard that some of the guys that originally worked on it are doing their own.
Yeah,
But I did a little bit of investigating into them too, and I'm like, I'm not sure I could promote theirs either.
how do I want to say this about Troy Denning? And I've invited him to DaveCon a bunch of times. Let me just put it this way: Troy has swallowed the poison pill. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
He's taken the pill and he's popped it, and I don't think he will have as much as gore and everything else that the original Dark Sun will have in it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and
it'll be cleaned up politically. Let's just say,
or targeting a particular half of the country.
right?
So,
yeah.
And look, I don't care what anybody's personal beliefs are. I'm open to that. I'm open to gaming with just about anybody as long as they're willing to game truly, honestly, and leave their real world politics at the door outside. And we only want to talk about because we didn't care in the 80s, man. We gamed with everybody.
Oh, 70s and 80s, we never talked about this nonsense at all. So I mean, and it was, I just, I tell everybody to leave it at the door. I know guys that come to DaveCon that are on one side, and they're extreme on one side and they're extreme on the other.
Right.
And like I said, leave it at the door. Don't bring it into the convention. I don't care. You know what I mean? You're here to game, and that's it. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm looking at to do with SmokeyCon as well. It's going to be like, look, I don't. You're welcome here, and I'm not going to uninvite somebody because you don't like them.
And I've told people, don't wear political stuff at DaveCon. Don't wear your MAGA hats. Don't wear your whatever hat. You know what I mean? Just don't do it. I don't want to see it. I don't want a confrontation to happen. If you want to confront somebody, outside the hotel, just there's doors out there. You walk out there with them. You guys have your little tiff.
We're here to game and and have a good time. And it's kind of like sports ball. You're rooting for your team. It's okay to be in a rival with the opposite team, but you don't need to be fighting amongst yourselves.
It should be just like on a on a gentleman's field. You're on
Yes.
2 different teams. After the game,
You shake hands and
shake hands, and you're done. You know what I mean? I mean,
unless it's Tennessee beating Alabama, and then they take the goalpost and throw it in the Tennessee River, which of course is,
you know what? What do you call that? That is not historical. It is precedence.
I had to laugh when that happened. Of course, I live in the Knoxville area, not in Knoxville proper, but I'm close enough, and I have friends that work for UT. I'm a Gator fan. I grew up in Florida, so I orange and blue is my thing, right?
People expect me to be a fan from Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. Sorry, I'm from North Dakota. I go for the NDSU Bison. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. I went to UCF, so the Knights. But then the coach currently of the Vols was the former coach for the Knights. So it's kind of funny. But I think I like what you got there. I think
The main thing is that in Dungeons and Dragons, it's you have to get in a new mindset to create the big bad evil guy. You
Right.
really do. You got it, and then you got these spells that were basically leaning towards the good. This book doesn't do that. I'm telling you right now, there is some evil nonsense.
Well, you can't have the good without the bad.
Right.
That's the thing is you have to have letter size, Dan. You gotta have the in order to triumph over evil, you have to have the evil.
Right.
The evil has to be in there and has to, and they have to be able to pull their devious things so that your heroes can overcome the evil.
Right. And the thing is that even Gygax said way back when, up to 10 to 15% of the items you pick up are going to be cursed or something else, in these magic items and stuff like that.
Right.
And I went through the Splat books and I have stuff like that, and I've been playing for such a long time. So I was like, where's the mass graveyard raising of the dead? That's one of the spells inside this book. I wrote a spell for a lich to go, rise, my minions! And, the 30 or 40 guys crawl out like in, what was that, the Michael Jackson video where they come
Yeah, Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller.
Are they dancing?
You know what I mean? I also got another one there from Hand. What was that? The Munsters or the Addams Family?
Addams Family. Yeah, the Addams Family.
There was a spell in here for animating just a limb, so it can be, you go across the, So I've made spells that are truly for people to make that big bad evil guy, especially in Necromancer, in their campaign, so that they can go, here it is. This guy's gonna got all these spells to do. You guys got to counter them. You know what I mean? Or you guys got to figure out how to get past this kind of stuff. And everybody knows how to get past X, Y, and Z spells. Well,
Right.
what about these spells that they don't know? You know what I mean? That's what this book is about. These are spells that your players don't know. And when you pull it out and you start reading them, you're just like, oh, that's hideous. That's absolutely hideous, or that's absolutely evil. This will work great. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've been playing long enough that it's just like, well, what if? Why couldn't a necromancer of 16th level rise up half a graveyard and have them start?
I would think that would be on the list of things that they should be able to do. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And dominion over another person, you know what I mean? Using their charm spell as a little extra, has a little extra beyond it. They can make a creature go do something that they wouldn't normally do, and stuff like that. I mean, like, why wasn't there ever a spell that was different than Fireball? Well, I have one here called Ice Blast, that it's sort of like a fireball, except for it's, instead of a fireball coming out, it's an ice blast. It just super condensed water just goes out in a sphere, and it coats everything, creating damage and everything else, and
cold damage and
everything else. So
almost like liquid nitrogen, a ball of liquid nitrogen.
Right.
It would shatter some things and do
right. It coats
do cold bird damage to other things. Oh yeah.
It coats
I could
everything.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a perfect spell to get away. It's like, oh, boom, I'm going to throw this spell out. Well, now the ground's all covered in ice. You're not going to move across it as a player character group. You're going to be like, oh shit, now I got to go around this obstacle and this and that, and okay, we've just been blasted with a coating of ice, a quarter-inch thick or half-inch thick. What are we going to do? And stuff like that. I mean, that's where I was going with all this, is so that, because necromancers don't have enough power, I don't think, in Dungeons and Dragons. They're not evil enough. Look at Ius and all those in Greyhawk that were really evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Bo is. I gotta highlight this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop! I can only get so excited. Well, and Bo and I think we're probably some of the first backers of this. So, because I know he messaged me. He's like, "You got to get him on the show," and I'm like, "I'm trying, dude. I reached out. Trust me, I've already talked to him."
Curses and poisons. What were there in Dungeons and Dragons at the first edition? Basically, you had A through, was it double X or whatever it was, Z and poisons. Well, this one goes into detail on poisons. I have like 100 different poisons in here or something like that.
Right.
And it goes into detail where it can be found, how to cure it, what the effects are. So instead of, you're going, oh, I got to look this up. It's right here next to the spell. It says this spell or this poison, it takes effect in 3 to 5 minutes and it lasts for 3 to 4 days. You know what I mean? So
right.
You don't know you're poisoned until 3 to 4 minutes inside the combat. And then all of a sudden you're barfing blood or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it gives that little delay for the dungeon master to go, okay, I got to something. And all of a sudden this guy, he got hit with an arrow. And all of a sudden now, 3 to 4 minutes into it, he starts blowing up, you know what I mean? Or whatever. So, and I tried to bring more realism to it. So it's just sort of like, okay, it's happening. You know what I mean? It's just, like, I shouldn't probably say this, but in my campaign here in Minnesota, 2 of my players are affected with lycanthropy, and they don't know it. But soon enough, they will know it.
They don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet, and then they're going to get affected by it, and then the whole group's going to be like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
that's a TPK waiting to happen, depending on who's on guard at full moon time, right?
Right, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Or they shred their tent coming out, and they run out in the woods like madmen, and they can't handle themselves or whatever.
Sounds like a lot of fun, man. And so we'd like to see the Kickstarter hit its goal. If it doesn't, you're still making the book.
I'm
right?
still making the book, no matter what. I've already printed it once, so I mean, why not? You know what I mean?
Right,
I'll print it again. And like I said, I'll bring some to Griff's ArnieCon, and then I'll have a whole buttload for the people going to DaveCon so that they can get them. And one more time, Moldavi warned players about using poison in BX, because if the players use poison, their enemies will too. They would do it anyways.
Well, sure they would.
If you're evil, thieves and assassins and monks and clerics and magic users, all of them will use poison if they're evil. If they've got access to it, they'll use it. No, I wouldn't be. You know what I mean? To further their aims, that they would use it. You know what I mean?
Anything a player can do, a monster or your evil opponents can do too. And sometimes they can do more.
Even we have a druid in our group here in Minnesota. Yeah. She'll use poison sometimes. She's neutral, but she will use poisons to get people sick or whatever to further her aims. And I'm just like, whatever. I run a West March campaign. It happens. You know what I mean? You want to do something? Go for it. I don't care. I'll just adjudicate. So Cam, you got more questions? Anything?
Well, you mentioned that your mother bought your first D&D set for you, which is, I think that might be the first time we've heard that, asking people how they got into the game. Was it what year was that, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was either 77 or 78. It was a red box.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we went over to my friend Paul's house, and we started playing Dungeons and Dragons. And of course, after the Dungeon Master Guide came out, my mom got hassled with a satanic panic crowd, and
Mhm.
my mom's came downstairs, took all my books, the Monster Manual, the Dungeon Master Guide, and the Player's Handbook. I think that was that 79 or 80 when all of them were out.
Yeah.
She went back upstairs, read them. Next day, she comes back downstairs. She hands them back to me and says, "Okay." And let me put it this way: the lady that came over to the house and told my mother that I was worshiping Satan or something like that was no longer welcome at our house because
They
That's
were making a big nothing.
well,
right.
that's much credit to your mother that she actually took it and found out herself. You
Right.
know,
Well,
that's
my mom's
great.
always been a reader. I'm sure that she probably read the first 40 or 50 pages and flipped through and said spells and looked at that. And it was like, there's no actual spells in here. There's nothing. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
just, it's make believe. I mean, the only question my mom is, what do you do in this game? And I said, you kill evil people. That's all I said. And that was all she needed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
You're playing the good guy, or at least a neutral. Maybe somebody that's maybe a little
Right. Oh, at
selfish
the
or
time, we
neutral.
only played good guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You wouldn't even think about having it because I went to a Catholic high school and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, you poor thing, man. Your knuckles are still probably feeling in the.
Yeah. Sister Nuncia
Well,
in her ruler,
Yeah.
yardstick, Jesus Christ. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we just didn't do that stuff. We were always fighting the bad, evil guys. You know what I mean? And we tried to make them as evil as we possibly could, but it's nothing compared to what I've distilled from all my years of playing into this book, so that guys like you can go into a game and go, I'm going to pull out this book
Yeah.
and I'm going to place it down and I'm going to have all these spells marked off. I know what my character is going to do, or my big evil guy is going to do. And, you guys are going to suffer for it. And it's going to be a more high level campaign. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is as a dungeon master, game master, castle keeper, whatever the case may be,
right.
referee, what's the other term that was judge, I think
Yeah.
is one I see a lot of the old guard, the grognards,
Yeah.
like to use the term judge.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's after judges guilds, so.
yeah. But I think our job in that regard is to make a game that is entertaining and challenging. It's
Right.
not supposed to be a cakewalk. You're not going to the local coffee shop and the challenge is not to make all the lattes that you can.
Oh
We're not.
God, are we talking about that new thing with 5e? They're making that game now with
Oh, well, that's
the
on my list to
the
talk about too.
tavern thing now. Oh my God. Like I told on Nerd Cognito, I said if I can't get in a bar fight, why would I want to go into it? You know what I
Well,
mean?
I mean, I get it, if you want to play The Sims, D&Ds, The Sims Tavern,
Yeah.
okay, I guess, but and I'm sure that
I played
somebody will enjoy it. I'm sure some people, and more power to them, I guess, if they do. But why did you throw the
You know what? You
D&D
know what I
brand on
compare
it?
this as? I compare this as tic tac toe. 5e is tic tac toe to 1e was 3D chess. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, there's going to be crap happening here, and you guys better know what's going to go on. I mean, I've had some 5e players sit in on my 1e game. It's too deadly. This is crazy. You guys are going after giants and stuff like this. We're only first level characters. Well, guess what? It's a West March. It's random rolls. You rolled it because I go around the table and I ask
You
everybody.
make them roll it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I was
it's
like,
your fate.
oh,
Yeah.
good. You've run into frost giants. How many? Well, Eric rolled 7, so there's 7 of them. What? Do they have wolves? Well, yeah, they got 3 winter wolves with them. You guys rolled it. This is what's going to happen. Run! That's right.
Yeah, the
What is it?
DM does not kill the PCs, the dice do. Yes, and I have died 5 times in that Monday Hyperborea game.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if I can make it 6 tomorrow night. Hopefully
Well,
not. Um,
what did Gargak say? Fight, flight, or parlay? Those
yeah,
are your
there
choices.
and running away is not an invalid option either.
Oh,
I
you
mean
know,
that
You don't have to do that. You don't have to. I mean,
You
I've
don't
had.
have to engage in combat. You can parlay or you can run.
Oh yeah. I mean, we used to when we went through what was it the GDQ series, right?
Yeah.
The Scent of the Drawer. I'm going to tell you what. When we back in this early '80s, whenever that came out, we ran like you would never believe.
Well, I mean, even when when I was playing, run away, that was a thing. That was if memes existed then, we would have had a meme for that in the 80s, run away, run away. Yeah.
We knew better. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you come around the corner and you see 3 Drow priestesses and 3 mind flayers and they're having a conference there.
Going the other way. Yep.
Look around the corner and go, oh crap, we gotta
Yeah,
go.
we'll let that 10th level party deal with them. We're gonna go back to our yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I can't count. Well, I have 4 sons, and I brought them through the G series, and they were running more than they were sticking around, and they were 5th level, 6th level characters, and I'm just like, nope, we're running. Okay. So we go do something else, and they come back, and they were like, let's try this again. They go back, and it's just a little harder because they keep, because that's what giants would do. They make their defenses a little harder, so I make it a little harder, and
Yeah.
so my kids would learn, keep their head on a swivel, use what you got, and get creative. You know what I mean? Get creative on how you're going to.
and that I love when players get creative and do the unexpected.
Oh,
I,
God,
I'm
yeah.
not out to try and I don't want to present an impossible situation to them. However, sometimes that naturally just happens, and they need to think quick and get the hell out of there,
Oh,
and not try. Just because you come across something doesn't mean you can destroy it.
well, my kids went through the Temple of Elemental Evil, and what's her face was loose. The I can't even pronounce her name. The evil goddess, she was loose. They ran into her, and it was every one of them shut down to the numbers and nope, we're gone.
Yeah.
Ran so fast. They're just like, we're not sticking around. They're dropping fireballs, everything else behind them, anything they could to keep her away so they get up out of that place. And
Yep.
they managed to get out, but it was just like, it's like, nope. They weren't sticking around,
Yeah, but Bo Paints Minis, he's like, yeah, my favorite random monster, the level 3 encounter table of Mold Bay Basic, a 1 in 20 chance of running into 1 to 6 whites. You get, yeah. Whites are ooh. Level drain is a serious thing.
Here's my favorite book for encounters, right here. Back with it.
Yeah.
I've had them roll a lich before.
Yeah. Well, that's how one of my characters died. He was just trying to investigate this thing, and next thing you know, I guess I need another character.
Well, one of my times they were running, they rolled lich, and I was like, oh, I'll just break out Tomb of Horrors, because it was right at the end of the session. I said, oh, we're gonna quit right here today, guys. And I broke out the Tomb of Horrors. I brought out the Tomb of Horrors, and one of my players metagamed it. He was just like, oh, that's the Tomb of Horrors. Yeah. And everybody at the table looked at him and says, what? There's a lich in here. And I was just like, God dang it, quit metagaming this thing. I had him right where I wanted him, because nobody else at the table got the picture. Yeah. But that one guy, and he metagamed that damn thing, and it ruined my chance to run him through that. So.
Well, and no one of consequence. No one of consequence is, man, you're giving away our secret now. Most DMs or whatever we call them want their players to do well. Yeah, because
I always want my players to do well, but you know what? There's times for a reset.
No risk, no reward.
Right, but there's always times for a reset too. At one point in time, they got too much magic, too much gold, whatever. It's time to reset them just a little bit, humble them back, and then they keep
knock
going.
Them down a peg or two, and yeah.
Right. It's like I got one of my creatures in here. It's called a wraith eel. It's from the negative material plane. It sucks on magic items.
Yeah, I got what I deserved. Huh? Dan says I got what I deserved. Yeah.
And the wraith eel will come into your camp. It's silent. and it will suck the magic right out of your stuff. You know what I mean? It'll suck it up and go away. And guess what? Hey, it's just one of those things.
Yes, I did. I did say. Well, I tried. I whacked the head to try to get away, but that didn't
You know
work.
what? You got to play your character.
And and my character didn't know what to do, so he started whacking his staff. And he's like, right? What would you do if something grabs you? You're gonna hit it.
After the first hit, you hit him with your sword and it does no damage. You're going to look at it and go, oh, crap.
Yeah,
Maybe I should run. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And that would be a clue. You know what I mean? You're supposed to pick up on these clues that the dungeon master gives you. I mean, come on now. It's
No,
a
no, no, no one of consequences. He's got a great, and I didn't learn to DM this way, but I've heard a lot of other people that really like doing this. What's your feeling about rolling your dice rolls in the open?
oh, my players hate it. They hate me doing it. I do it all,
Because they can't say that you're
I do it all the time. Even if there's 30 or 40 creatures attacking him, I have that many dice in my box. I'll just bring out 40, 20 side dice and just go right
yeah,
there. And I'll just be like, okay. And I have a list. I have a little sheet with a list of all the characters on there. If there's 12 of them, I'll roll a die. All right, character number 1. This guy rolled a 20. He's an automatic hit. You suffer this much damage. Next, okay, player 8, he missed. And I'll just go through all the dice and go all the way down it. And it'll be like, oh, crap. You know what I mean?
Um,
So,
here's one that might be a fun topic here. How would you introduce planner play in a D&D game with the 3 alignment system? He's been puzzling this. So 3 align. So you're talking just
lawful, neutral,
lawful, neutral, and good. Yeah,
lawful, neutral, and evil or
yeah,
whatever.
or lawful,
Chaotic.
neutral, and evil. Yeah.
Uh,
I personally I like CNC's alignment system, but that's my personal preference.
I
I'm
just,
not sure if you're
you know what,
familiar with it.
we did Paladin in Hell. We've teleported people to Hell and Hades.
Yeah,
We've crossed the river Styx in my campaign, or I have in its other campaigns. I've crossed the river Styx and stuff like that. And
sure.
you know what? It's all a learning experience, man. And the more evil, I mean, you got to realize that we're talking slave. I mean, descriptions of Dante's Hell or Dante's Inferno and stuff like that. You got to read that kind of stuff, and then you get a real gist of what Gygax had read way
Yeah,
back when. But he tamed it back. You got to admit, he tamed back a lot of that stuff. If he really wanted to get into it way back when, man, those books, you know what I mean? The first edition player's handbook and everything else would have been a lot worse. You know what I mean? You would have learned a lot more than you did. So, I mean,
yeah,
credit for Gary Gygax making it acceptable for everybody, broad reaching. But I mean, come on. I mean, if he really had his druthers, he could have made it really, really bad for people. So,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
And I want to say hi to Advanced Fantasy Games. That's Greg Gowron. He makes some great stuff too. I don't know if you've seen any of his or not.
mm,
He made he's got something else that I think that's coming out very soon. So we need to get him back on the show again.
well,
But
I got another one that's coming out too. It's called with a Jim Ward novel on it. I printed it out 2 years ago, but I'm gonna put the original in it. And this is going to be Dangerous Destinations 1, and it's got 5 different authors in it. And I'm working on getting that published right now. I'm trying to get and get it printed up and everything else, get the cover just so it's just like this, but
yeah,
it'll be Dangerous Destinations 1. And then I go out and I personally shop with people like Rob Kuntz, and I pay them for the module, just like TSR did. And then I put their module inside the book. And then I get other people to contribute to the book. And I make a book of modules that players like yourself can go, or DMs like yourself can go, hey, I got this new book. Let's scroll through here and find out what we want to do. You know what I mean? So, eh,
now I know. I
well,
should have.
I'm trying to get into that cycle, sort of like TSR did back in the day, where I'm pumping out stuff. You know what I mean? It's just sort of, here it is. We're gonna start this. If I'm gonna start my game company, I'm gonna start it and do it so I got an audience and everything else. I mean, even was it Troll Lords
Hmm.
or Frog God? I think Troll Lords is there Frog Gods. And one of the two is going to have Troll Lords, I think it is going to have their own convention now down
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Arkansas.
TrollCon is going to be like September of next year.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, everybody's, we're getting into it. You know what I mean?
I'm working on SmokyCon too.
Yeah.
I'm narrowing down the venue list, and I pretty much know where I'm going to go with it. And I've been talking to some of the people, and you're one of them. I've talked to. I was messaging back and forth with somebody that Tom Wilson, who does ShireCon, and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
what do you think about this?" And yeah, so the Grimoire is live right now
Right.
on Kickstarter.
Right.
And if the Kickstarter doesn't make it, how are they going to order it?
I will have even if they put in $1 now, and they're just not going to buy it, but they put in $1, they'll be on my list. And what I'll do is I will send them a link to wherever I have it listed at. I'll probably get it listed Monday or Tuesday on a link, either through angrydwarfgames.com or something, where they can go and get it printed direct and sent to them directly from the printer. So
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be. I'm not. It's going to be like.
And you said you're not using drive-throughs, so
I'm trying to stay away from drive-through as much as humanly possible.
so
have
then
I have
Lulu,
one
maybe you can order it directly through Lulu, possibly.
right. It'll probably be through Lulu because I've got people in Europe and UK and in Australia that are interested in buying it, and they will print it in those countries and ship it to you so
Yeah.
that you don't have to wait for the slow mail from Minnesota to Australia or UK and then pay a VAT tax and everything else on top of it. You know what I mean? Well, if it's printed right in the UK, you're going to get it at that discounted price and everything else. And then if you put the dollar in on the Grimoire, I'll send you a discount for DaveCon this coming year. And you can go to davecon.net and you can see all the guests I've got on there, and there is a plethora of them on there. So, and I'm trying to get more to go on.
And we should mention that I know we're running out of time for you right now, but
Right.
DaveCon hotel reservations and badges are on sale.
Right.
Let me see if I can switch.
And here's another thing. I'm not 40 miles from an airport. I'm a mile and a half from the international airport. So it's free taxi back and forth, or they got the hotel shuttle. So it's not like you're going to spend $80, $90, $100 to get from O'Hare to Lake Geneva or something. You know what I mean? So
right. So here, this is DaveCon. Let me see here.
Right.
Up
on the right there, you'll see special guests. You'll see the special guest link there.
Okay.
You see it up on top there? It's a special guest thing.
Oh yeah. You got a whole slew. You got Mike Carr, David Wesley, Frank Menser, William Hoyt. Wow.
Yeah. I got him. I got all these characters coming. So
Alexander McCrease, would love to talk to him too. Mark Jenerick, Greg Gillespie. Of course, I know him. I've talked to him in person at both CNY and North Texas.
Yeah.
Matt Tapp, of course, I know him personally, and the list keeps going on. Donna Gygax, wow. How is she holding up?
She is doing wonderful. I wrote her into the module that's going to be part of this Maleficent Grimoire. I've sort of that was going to be one of the PDFs I was going to include with the thing, and I've wrote her and Ernie into the modules that goes with it. So where they're going to go and they're going to encounter a necromancer in that one. So
of course, my buddy Ryan David at Incognito. I know I've heard that he was going to be live broadcasting from there.
Yep, I got him a slot at the bar, an actual bar.
That's perfect. That is actually perfect for the speakeasy. Carl Gallagher, David Brown, Richard. Wow, you got and I believe I heard Double D might be coming as well.
Double D said he was going to
is that next year?
But I will. He's always got an extended invitation to
yeah. I think he mentioned something, and Let me hide this one here. That one. But
Certain people, of course, don't have invitations. I've asked them X number of times, and they've politely refused. So I've said, "Oh, well, I'll just never extend the invitation again." So it's just one of those things. If I get up to 500 people and they suddenly start being interested, I'll just say, "Hey,
so how many people typically show up to DaveCon?
250 is the average right now. I mean, when I had Professor Dungeon Master there, it was like
Did
350.
you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I try to get him to come, but it
He's
overlaps.
he's a little busy right now.
Yeah, it's just a hair.
Just a little.
But
We had him on the show, and Dan, Professor DM,
you know,
he was a delight. I did not have, what?
I have nothing but praise for the guy. He is not um,
He is not one of those the typical the group that a lot of people try to lump him in with.
right.
He is to thine own self be true,
Yeah,
and he is what he is, and that's
and he
uh,
doesn't badmouth anybody.
no,
He
no.
just
In fact, he even said because we talked, we always talk a little bit backstage before, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to partake in any of the internet drama. I don't want to badmouth anybody because if you badmouth somebody today, you
and when
never
he
know
does
how the
it, and
winds
when
could
he,
shift
and when he does
tomorrow.
something, and when he says something about it, he just he just says, I don't like this system. There's some things I just don't like in it. You know what I
Right.
mean? He doesn't come on and say, this is trash. This is, what I mean? He's just not that way. So,
Yeah.
and that's why I like the guy. And when he came to DaveCon, he was always hospitable to me and stuff like that. And I tried to, I mean, I've got so many guests that when I'm walking around the convention, I'm just like, I got to go see this guest. I got to go see this guest. I got to go see this guest, make sure everything's perfect. You know what I mean? So,
Okay. So we got to ask. We got a question about the date from Greg.
It's April of 2027, the end of April,
So 242 days, 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 30 seconds.
right?
Mark. So April 30th through May 2nd, 2027.
Yep.
And it's in Bloomington. How far away from Minneapolis is that?
Well, it's across the interstate, which is less than a quarter mile. I mean,
Okay, I gotta
airport,
ask you, how safe is it?
well, let's put it this way. You're going to get on a shuttle bus. You're going to come to the hotel. You're not going to have to leave the hotel unless you want to go to the Mall of America, which is a mile down the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to go into Minneapolis and get mugged if you don't want to. I mean,
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. As long as you don't have to go to the Leering Center.
no.
No.
The Leering Center is probably about 8 miles away, but it's closed now. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. This is going to be at the Crown Plaza Hotel in
yep,
Bloomington. The vendor hall is free to the public.
yes. So that's one of the things I've noticed that like different conventions, they always want everybody to pay to get in and then go
Mhm.
see the vendors. And I was like, you know what? The vendors already paid me to be there. Okay, what do I care if 50 people run up to the booth of Frank Metzer and get his signature and stuff like that? They're going to want to sit around and they're going to go, I got to come back to this convention. I want to go game with Frank Metzer, or I want to go do this, or I want to do that. Everything else, you know what I mean, costs a little bit of money. So, I mean, I try to bring the community goodwill, especially for parents with
Mhm.
small kids. I want them to come and be able to walk through the vendor hall and stuff like that and see neat stuff. And you know what I mean? If they want to buy a t-shirt, it's there. Hey, I went to DaveCon. Well, you did, but you didn't play any games, but
Yeah,
you know,
I would absolutely love if I could find a way. I would love to come up there. I think it would be great.
well,
Um,
you got an invite, man. If you want
yeah.
to come, you let me know.
All right. Yeah.
Even even though he's the silent one on here, he never talks.
Cam, I can't. Well, sometimes Cam is really Cam had a very bad week,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, we had a very bad week this past week for everybody, as we
All right. Well, I hope it
alluded
all
to.
gets better for you gentlemen. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope it gets better for Gen X, but I fear this is the first domino for a lot of people that are near and dear to all of our generation's hearts. Of course, we've lost a lot of people in the tabletop gaming industry in the past
Oh
year or
God.
two as well.
Well, it
Um,
started out with Tim Cass this year, didn't it? He
yeah,
just died this
yeah.
year. So
And Jim Ward, and we lost him, and and it's just
Ernie
like
Gygax, it was Jim
Ernie.
Ward, Ernie, Tim Cast. We lost Leonard Lafka. We
Yeah.
lost, you know what I mean? They're slowly but steadily falling off the face of the earth. They're up there.
And that's why I want to get as many of them on the show as I can.
Well,
On my
if you need
show, I want to see them on others.
If you need information on some people and you need phone numbers and a snack, my little Rolodex here has a bunch of them in them. So
Yeah, we'll be talking. Trust me, there's a lot to talk with you about.
right.
Yeah. I Cam, Edgelord just called you out there, bud.
Yeah, I saw. When the guest is going on with interesting things, I'm not going to get in the way.
All right. Well, I got about 2 minutes here before I have to go upstairs and face my punishment because I am already over time. So
I'm sorry. So everybody, let me drop the link for the Kickstarter again. Drop it because it will get you, even if yes, if you can. Let's get on there. Let's get it up to the thing so it makes it. But if it doesn't, the very least, it will get you on the mailing list, right?
right. Yep. You get on the DaveCon mailing list and everything else, and then you'll find out information, and then you'll also see all my first stuff coming up. Even, if this thing works out with Rob Kuntz, you will be on that list, on the top of the list for
And
grab stuff.
I'm eager. I'm eager. I went to North Texas. I went to CNY. I haven't been up to the Midwest yet. So even though I was born there, I grew up in the South. I was born up in Indiana, Northwest Indiana, right outside
Did her
Chicago.
with the batleth with honor. You mean I got two of them back there? There's
I
one.
well, I was gonna mention the batleths.
I made those myself. Those are 304 surgical stainless steel with actual leather, cowhide
for the
leather
for
grips
the
on them.
for the
So
grips.
they
Yeah.
are going to hurt you if you get hit with one. They're not some cheap piece of wood or something like that.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the batleths, Cam?
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, and I got all kinds of stuff around here. I've always been a collector of sci-fi and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Well, speaking of sci-fi, we've got Sci-Fi Snob show is coming up here at the top of the next hour, and Cam is a co-host on that as well.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get the heck out of here.
We will say goodbye to you, Vic. Hope to have you on again sometime soon, and we'll get your next project launched. We'll make sure you let me know early, and we'll get you on again.
I will get you some screenshots of that coming up here. All right.
Absolutely, can't wait. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to you now,
Hasta luego and hasta la vista and whatever else you want to call it. So have a good day, gentlemen. Talk to you later.
Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So everybody, yeah, definitely. What do you think about that? DaveCon. Sounds fun, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like a manageable size. Some cons get crazy, hectic and everything. Did he say 250 to 350 kind of?
Yeah. And that's reasonable. I think he said 350 when he had Professor Dungeon Master. So that's not bad. That's not a bad size. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get, when I do Smoky Con, I'll be happy if I get 80 people. I'd be happy if I got 60 people. It's a first year con. I know about the time of year I'm going to do it. I think I know the venue, but I haven't nailed down a specific date, and I have a couple of ideas that I'm thinking about. So keeping that, but that may affect the timing of it. What I want to do, I may have to push it up a week or so from when I'd want to do it, or a couple of weeks from when I want it, when I was thinking about doing it. Either a week, shift it one way or the other.
Sure.
But I got an idea. Maybe I'll talk to you about it offline. Bounce it off of you and see what you think, because I have not seen anybody else do this. So, but any rate, so where should we start?
Well, just a quick note. You started to say about Top Lofty Lounge tonight at 11 p.m.
Right.
Eastern on the Sci-Fi Snob channel. We are actually talking. We're going to be going through a few of these legends that have passed away recently in terms of entertainment. Like I said, Tim Curry, Peter Cullen. I'm going to be talking a little bit about
No.
Yeah, I know. Just a bit. Going over their catalog and such, and kind of a farewell. But we're also going to be talking about Space King, which a new episode dropped today. So if people haven't seen that and you like spoofs, it's basically a spoof of Warhammer, but it's hilarious and very crude. If you don't mind that.
Yeah, and let me drop this here in the chat so everybody sees that. I forgot to turn it on, but I will turn it on. Sci-Fi Snob, yep, that's the link that'll take you right over there on YouTube. And of course, Wednesday we have another episode of Babylon 5 retrospective coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What's that episode called?
Oh, let me.
Did I put you on the spot?
You did. It's episode 14, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, give me 3 seconds and I'll get it. 3, 2, 1. Okay. It is Moments of Transition, episode 14, season 4.
Yeah, it's good.
Did you watch it already?
Yes. Yeah, I watched. I think that may be the last one on this disc. It's good. You're purging your 40K books. Why are you doing that, Edgelord?
Is it because they came out with a new version and they're all worthless now?
He's jumping on the Sparkle Troll bandwagon of 40K. Is that what you're doing there, Edgelord?
Well, oddly enough, last week on Top Lofty Lounge, we had someone telling us all about 40K, and
you did.
I was drinking from a fire hose a little bit there. I was a little overwhelmed. So,
it is. I never got into 40K because the miniature thing was never something I grew up with. And I know a lot of people played miniatures and played D&D and their tabletop games. I played D&D and I played a little bit of Cyberpunk 2020, but mostly we did now the name eludes me, damn it. But we always played Theater of the Mind, and for us we used a whiteboard. That was our big thing, is we would use a whiteboard if we needed a tactical thing, and in many cases, particularly the type of game we were playing, since Shadowrun is what I'm thinking of. It's literally like, okay, this is the plans. This is what we're gonna do. It's like you're planning out a caper type of thing, Anyway, so it seemed to fit. And the same thing, even with D&D, whether it was third edition or first edition. Second edition came out after my introduction, but before I became really active again in tabletop gaming. So I kind of missed the 2E thing. And the sad thing is I think 2E was probably the best edition for content, not necessarily for system, but for content. I think it was the most voluminous.
Settings you're talking about?
Yeah. Am I wrong on that? I mean,
no, I would say that they had more settings than people can consume. But yes, they almost had a ton of choices, right?
Yeah, almost overwhelming, right?
Well, that's one of the criticisms of not criticisms. That's one of the things that people point to as being a problem that caused financial trouble. Is they were cranking these things out, and they just their volume per unit was low, and then of course
competing against themselves. A lot of people like to say
that's the narrative. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but
well, I mean, people like to say that that Gary was competing against himself when he was still producing D&D on top of first edition AD&D, right?
Yeah.
But with second edition, it's like, okay, do you go with Mistar? Do you go with Forgotten Realms, Maztica, Oriental Adventures? All what did I miss? Oh, Dark Sun, Dragonlance, all at the same time, right?
Yep.
So, but that's some of the best stuff out there is that material. So
yeah, it's certainly beloved. Again, Dark Sun. People look back to the real Dark Sun, to this day, very strongly.
yeah.
So,
well, since you mentioned it, I guess it's time to bring that up. We knew they were going to screw it up.
yeah, most predictable.
There was maybe a 1 in 100 chance, probably 1 in 1,000 chance that they weren't, but they didn't roll that. No, they came right out and said, "Oh, not only are we not getting rid of sensitivity readers, we're hiring extra sensitivity readers for this mature setting game that's going to be
unbelievable." No, it's not. It's totally believable. Okay, look, I don't want any product that has a sensitivity reader, and that's not to say that someone shouldn't be thoughtful of the kind of product they want to put out for whatever their audience is, right? I wouldn't expect someone to put out a children's book that's filled with perversion. Oh wait, that happens all the time.
Wait, they do
by
that
the people
all the
that
time.
really like sensitivity readers.
Yes.
Okay, but let me not go into that. But because here's the thing, it's like a creator that says, I don't trust my own judgment, my own work. I'm not talking about editing, right? Technical stuff.
No, they don't do that. They don't edit anything.
Right. I don't trust my creative vision. I'm going to hand it over to blackmailers, because let's be clear, that's what sensitivity reading is. It's blackmail. It's protection money from psychopaths.
Yep. And they're always going to find something so that they always stay relevant.
Of course. Yeah, that's their they're justifying their own existence.
Yes, they are grifters.
100%.
100%. Every one of them. There is not a single one of them that is a good person. I stand by that.
I could see, these people are lumped in with sensitivity readers, or perhaps they are grifters, but a legitimate version of this would be, let's say you're doing something about Japanese culture, or ancient Japanese history, hiring someone to be like, hey, I want to make sure that I have these technical details right about it from someone who is a legitimate expert on that. Now, of course, you can do your own.
And whether you're Japanese or not, it doesn't matter. Right. If you've got
someone who is an expert on the topic.
Did I get this right? Am I right on this? Where did I screw up? That's different.
Right. And if you are going for that kind of historical accuracy, if not, that's perfectly valid too.
Right.
Again, if you don't present it as that, like if someone, said American history is like, oh, the first president, Abraham Lincoln, it's like, well, obviously that's, not right. But if you're going for some kind of crazy fantasy world where that is, whatever, I don't care.
Sure.
But yeah. So, anybody who's okay, when the new WotC, the new, we've realized we've made a mistake WotC scam, started. Everyone's, a lot of people said, no, screw this, it's BS. And of course they've been proven right so far. But, people that were like, oh, I'm going to give them a chance, fine. That's reasonable to say, I'll wait and see. Well, now we've seen, and there's no indication that they're actually changing outside of PR. That is the only thing that has changed as far as I can see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dan Ayub's, his motivations are honest. I think he really does think that he'd like to see Dark Sun come back. The problem is that the people that are currently working at WotC are going to not only not back off, but they're going to triple down on their insane ideology.
Well, yeah, and it's not just WotC either. It's not like, this is something, we've built a society of people that have been trained to think that they're being offended at something gives them some kind of power over others.
Right.
And that's, there's no sign of that stopping, because what needs to happen is people just say, go to hell. Oh, you're offended by that? Oh, okay. And
Sorry.
so what? You
Don't buy it.
you have
don't
the
like
right
it,
to be
don't buy
offended.
it. I mean,
Right.
they told us that, right? You don't like Star Wars, don't buy my book. You don't agree with my opinion, don't buy my book.
Yes.
So we
and again,
didn't. And then you're labeled as an ist and a foe because you
Right.
didn't buy their book because you were told not to. It's like
Right.
no win.
I don't mind people it's like there's certain things that offend me, right? It's like, but it's not my place to say you must change that. My place is to say, no, I'm not going to spend my money on your crap then. Right. That's the deal I make in society. You do what you want. I do what I want, but again, it's this whole thing. I could pretend I'm a victim. So then I get to control you. No, you can go to hell with that.
Yeah. And Vic is still hanging out. we got zero faith in coming in the future material. I think Luke is working with multiple people, and regardless, we had him on. I had Luke on the show, and Luke was a nice guy to me and didn't have any. It was all positive. We were on with the Gooey Cube folks, and I like the Gooey Cube people. I think they're decent folks that are they're not in it for the money because they keep on adding stuff to every one of their Kickstarters. And they're like, oh no, we feel bad because it took long for that fast boat to get here, so we threw in extra stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that the problem is WotC's going to nerf anything that they do, and they really need to clean house at WotC is what they need to do.
Well, they need to clean house if they want me as a customer,
Right.
And if they don't, fine. They own the name D&D. They can produce whatever crap they want and put the name on it. There's nothing I can do about that.
That's
I make
right.
my choice as a customer, right? That's it. If you want me as a customer, then you serve
you
me as a customer.
Stuff.
I mean,
make good content, and
yeah. And Agile said Luke is working for the money and his family. Yeah. I've worked a job a lot of years that I don't particularly like. I cash the check, man. As far as I'm concerned, go ahead, get that payday. And I'm not even being smart about that. It's like, hey, if you've got a good offer on the table and you could put out what you think is your best work, then you do it. And if you're willing to take the bad side of that, which is that they're going to do what they want with your work, presumably, then fine. Everybody's got to make their own choices on stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to tell someone else that they shouldn't work for someone either. But that's it.
Yeah, I think Stephen Kennedy's got the right attitude. Wish Luke all the best. I do too. Luke is, like I said, he's been working more with there was other people that he was working with. He's working with Troll Lord Games. Get Guys and Gax. Get Zagig. Get Guys and Gax is what the folks from Gooey Cube did. Get Zygag, which is what Troll Lord Games did. If you want, get Joe Block stuff. Greyhawk Grognard. Get his. You want the real stuff. Go with that. And I think that's go with them. He worked with both of them too, but I can guarantee you they're not. Neither one of them. They went no holds barred. They're trying to stay true to the course. Troll Lord is the last group that Gary worked with before he passed away.
Yeah. Bring up Edgelord King's comment here. His last one. Yeah. He says, I disagree, Luke. He says, I disagree. Luke is a Gygax. He cheapens the name when working with WotC. That's perfectly valid for you to believe that, as far as I'm concerned. And, again, if it were me, I would not sit down and work for a company that continues to piss all over my family name. That's me. And that's my judgment about what they're doing on DriveThruRPG with their BS, warning labels and crap. Now, again, Dan Ayub
technically that's on DM's Guild. which is
It-
owned
is
by
D-
the same people, but that's
yeah.
all the
Well,
D&D branded
isn't
stuff.
it,
Yeah.
isn't it on both on RPG drive-through RPG as well? Meaning
I
the warning
I don't.
labels.
Well, no. So the labels is on any of the D&D material.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
any of the
But
official reprints, which is all. That's all. That's
those are
all
on.
has to be
Those are
ordered
on.
from DM's
Those
Guild.
are on. No, they're on drive-through as well.
Are they? Well,
Yeah.
but it's their
Whatever.
material. It's their
It's
material that they have. They have the rights to it. Unfortunately,
right.
what they don't have the rights to is this stuff I've got sitting back here. That I actually. This is an original. Obviously, it's not in the perfect shape, but you know what? Now I have a copy of. I have a copy of Basic.
Mhm.
That's a real copy of Basic. It's been
Glad you caught up there, buddy.
yeah. This one is kind of translate. Yeah, it's green.
Wow, that looks cool like that.
This is
Um,
Danger at Dunwater. I picked that up too. You know,
and
there are alternatives. Get the old stuff, and if you don't want the
okay.
if you don't mind the stupid warning page, and you want to rip that one out, you can
Well,
certainly order from the drive-through stuff and get a pristine printed copy.
Well, my point is that I'm not Luke, right? I don't know what's been said to me and in what circumstances and if it's satisfying. That's for him to decide, right? I'm
Yeah,
saying from what I know, if I were that with what I know, what I would do. So that's
yeah,
I just want to make that distinction.
yeah.
I'm sorry, someone else had a comment here that I wanted to Bob Paints Minis said, so I asked myself, do you want to buy the new Melf book or do you want to buy the new Rob Kuntz Greyhawk book? Yes, valid question.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Um,
what is going to serve what you want? Do you want something that is, by someone who was heavily engaged in making Greyhawk, or Luke wasn't. He was a little kid when that
right.
was being made. I mean, that doesn't mean that he wasn't around
I'm
and he
not
wasn't
saying
doing
Luke's a
things.
bad guy. I'm not saying,
Then none of this is about saying bad things about anybody, right?
no,
We're not attacking people
no,
here. Everyone
absolutely
makes
not.
their own choice.
No.
And like I said, more power to him. If he wants to work with that and he thinks he can do some good work, maybe he does. Maybe he's like, hey, I can bring, I have something to say about Greyhawk that is respectful to my father's vision of it. And great. I hope he does.
I think through that venue, that's the work that he's been doing with the other outside third parties, not with
Sure.
WotC.
Sure.
I think that's where you're going to get the true Greyhawk. The true, even though it can't be called Greyhawk, but that's where it's going to be. It's going to be in these other creations. Now, Dan does point out, okay, DM's Guild and Drive Through RPG, yes, they are. In fact, Roll20 is the same company. So if you use Roll20, it's the same company that owns Drive Through RPG, that owns DM's Guild. The difference is if something's going through DM's Guild, which anything that is using official WotC content is going to go through that. WotC gets a cut. That's kind of their requirement. If you're an independent publisher and you want to use any official D&D stuff, it's got to go through DM's Guild. If you strip it of all that stuff and want to publish it, then you can put it on Drive Through RPG. So, if you're trying to make material, you need to genericize it a little bit, make it different, and then you can publish it yourself on Drive Through. And no more power to you. I've ordered a lot of stuff through Drive Through. I don't have a problem with them as a group. I think they're okay, and I understand that they're under contractual requirements with the official D&D branded stuff, and that's what DM's Guild is the official branded. Anything that you want to use, if you want to use the name Forgotten Realms, or you want to use certain names, then you have no choice. So, but yeah, like I said, I hoped for the best, expected the worst, and they delivered on the worst.
Murphy's Law.
And and so I will point out there's a company called Strange Owl Games, who are a lot of the original creators of Dark Sun are doing their own thing. They've got the backer kit going on, or Kickstarter that's getting ready to kick off in about 3 weeks, and I looked at having those guys on. However, I also looked into them, and every one of them says something to the effect of screw X, screw Elon, screw whatever political guy you don't like. Orange man bad. I'm on blue sky. Well, I won't touch blue sky with a 10-foot pole, and I would
No, I don't
definitely
like. I
watch
don't.
my children around people that
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Right. That's an automatic no for me. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's your preferred. Okay.
I'm not on blue sky. I will never touch blue sky. I won't get on it. I don't want to. Nope, nope,
Well,
nope.
good. They
Backpack.
can enjoy that crowd and trying to get money out of them. I wish them all the success. In
I
the
do. I
world.
do too. And I really did. I was like, well, should I reach out to these guys? And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole, looking at some of the names of these people, and a lot of them have gone very political and are very vocal about it, and we just don't need that. We don't need that in gaming.
Dan. Dan brings up a point here. He says, "Don't give a damn about the strange Howl Dark Sun homage. You cannot make gritty and brutal Dark Sun game in 5
That's true.
5.5 because it's a superhero game." True.
Yeah. And that is absolutely not. That's 100% true. If you want the true Dark Sun feel, Chubby Funster is the way to go. He's got Shadow Sun. It is going to be dark and gritty and brutal, and it's going to be everything that you expect. And Chubby does great work, and he's not the only one out there, but his stuff is top notch. And he's an upstanding dude. He's awesome. I've met him personally. He's just an all around great guy, and he is very very dedicated to what he's doing and trying to be faithful to the feel of whatever it is.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that for a moment, because that's the silver lining in all of this, right? Is that no one needs to go to any source that they don't like for any reason. Content. If someone mouths off about something that pisses you off, whatever. There are so many great independent creators out there. I mean, more than you could ever use, right? I mean, it's not like, oh, there's one or two, and obviously everyone has their favorites, like you said, Chubby Funster, quality stuff. But there's all kinds for anything you might, any setting, style, or theme that you might like. There's something out there. So from that perspective, we're way better off than we've ever been, right? I mean, in terms of availability of content. We were talking a little bit before. Was it before the show? No, it was during the show about the 2E. The volume of settings, which is true for a given. I mean, I can't play all the settings I'd like to. I never could. And so that's always an issue. And just games. I mean, games I can't even play all of them. But it doesn't matter, because we all have the choice to do and pick your favorites, right? So,
and if you went really gritty,
Arduin, there you go.
Okay.
That's going.
Speaking of which,
let's talk about that, shall we?
Let me bring up, because I was talking to Dave and George earlier on Arduin, and they said that I could announce this. So this is the first time people are hearing about it. They are shipping. They are shipping this week. They are going out. They were packing boxes yesterday and today. And so if you order the Arduin Trilogy, if you already had ordered it, your order is packed up most likely and will be going out this week. If you haven't ordered it, they have them in stock. You can order them. So they are all going out this week. Now, Stephen Kennedy, stop trying to scoop me now. Edgelord, I know. Edgelord was, I think, were you helping box these up? So, but they did say, and there's a surprise coming, but I'm not allowed. I don't want to spoil that. There's a surprise coming for anybody that did order it.
Is the box set still on super sale?
Is the box set? So if you
ordered the trilogy, right? It was What was
Yeah.
it, $65 or something?
So yeah, and if you were part of the Portal to Adventure, then you are actually getting you get a discount rate if you use the code. You should have been emailed a code. They are doing due diligence and are checking, and if you did not use the code, they are cross-checking to see if you opened. And yeah, Stephen, and I got permission from them to do this. Actually, I talked to George the other day, and then again today. I was like right up until about 20 minutes before showtime tonight. I was on the phone with both of them. And yeah, so they are shipping out. So if you order it, Emperor's Choice, go to that mcho.com. You should be seeing the link here, popping in every now and again. But definitely get this. Arduin Bloody Arduin is coming soon as well. So you definitely want to get in there. You know, there's information in this. Let me explain. The trilogy is not just something that you can game with. It's stuff. It's a bundle of resource material. You can make your games grittier, dirtier, more challenging, more deadly. There's a ton of stuff in there. So, um, it's a resource for DMs or GMs or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I do want to address this from Edgelord. 5e can be made deadly. It's called Shadow Dark. Well, I wouldn't call Shadow Dark 5e. I think it's D20 mechanics. That's about the only thing that they kept, because it totally does not use the skill system. It lost most of what made 5e 5e. It's very streamlined and it's very simple to run. I love it. It's a great game. You could spin up you could spin up a Shadow Dark game, really really easy, and you can pretty much play any ODD first edition, second edition stuff with minimal conversions, if any, necessary. And hopefully we're going to be seeing some of the stuff that's we've been waiting from them. And Kelsey, I think she's got her head in the right game. So we're looking forward to that. I like that. It's I Ching. It's I Ching for old school. Yeah, that's a good way. There's literally so much information in there. And if you don't have a copy of it, get yourself a copy of it. They've got a lot of new things that are coming in the works. So Dave and George, these are upstanding great guys. I can't say yes, they're sponsored. I don't get paid anything by them. Right? When I put that, yes, we're sponsored by them. They are a sponsor. Why are they a sponsor? Because they give me stuff to give away to you guys.
It's for the fans.
It's for the fans. I don't actually get the stuff. They don't give me anything for free. Everything. I bought my copy of Arduino, and they just shipped it to me soon, so I could do the unboxing video. And they're helping us promote the channels. But I paid for that. I got it a little bit early because they wanted to make sure that people got to see it. And so if you haven't ordered it, get it now. You can order it. These new books are really kind of awesome. I hope folks, and we did have a lot of people that tuned in to the Lax Weeks, and yes, I do apologize for it being pre-recorded, but there were circumstances that prevented us from doing anything live. I was out of town, but I mean, look at this critical hit table. Just on the backside, there's just all kinds of stuff, man. It's I'm not damaging any. These cards are awesome with the. I mean, look at that. It looks just like as if it was written by Dave Hargrave himself, you know. And these are all except for the Arduin primer or primer, depending on how you want to pronounce it. You know, this is the only one in the bunch that's actually stapled now. The others are glue bound. So, and they are beautiful, and even on the edge. You know, I know I did an unboxing already, so people can go check that out. But you know, original artwork in this, just get it. You won't regret it. Comes with a set of dice, and they're black. But I do recommend getting. They are selling dice now too, so this wasn't going to be a commercial necessarily for.
And paint.
They're selling paints now too, yeah. And I believe Ducato is got a bunch of paints that he's testing out, as is Shadow and some other folks out there. And I'm gonna try and test some of their paints too. I think even Dan ordered some paints from them. So he's trying his hand at painting. He was painting some of the whatever the frogadiles or whatever the hell they're called, the crocodile things. So yeah, but you know, he was showing off some of them on one of the streams. They are dice. They are dice, or they are nice, Edgelord. I got the glass dice. They are dice. I think you meant they are nice. Yeah. No paints, just minis. Oh, you're not okay. You're using Vallejo paints. Okay, yeah, I'm eager. And I was talking to them, and I said, you know, did you guys get any of the paint starter sets? Because I think the paint starter sets, you know, I have one sitting over here somewhere, not from them, but from one of the other people. And I said, people, you know, I got a bunch of these paints that are in these packs. In fact, let me go grab one. I said, I think if you got some of them, you know, I think things like this, you know, like like okay, so I've got Army Painter, right? And then I've got some of the Whiz Kids ones. You know, I said I think people sometimes like to get something that will start them up, you know, to kind of give them a bunch of paints to start
Yeah,
off.
I agree.
And I said, I think you guys should get that. So they're gonna look into. Oh, there's the paints that I was looking for.
Well, a lot of Mike's generally when you get a starter set of something, they tend to be cheaper products, you know, but like Army Painter, good, you know, good brand, you know, there are good brands that do nice paint sets. And
Vroats, thank you. Dan is correcting me. The Vroats, the frog gators. They're basically the hind end is a frog like creature, and the with the mouth of an alligator or crocodile.
yeah. The only as Mike says he can coach down on painting. Certainly, it's very beneficial to someone to show you the ropes. But dry brushing is your friend. I'll just say that.
Dry brushing, and also shades.
Yeah, like washes and stuff.
Washes, inks. Sometimes I like to use inks on translucent stuff on the plastic minis. Anything that you want that might be illuminated, or that you want to really have it pop like it's translucent. Then you use an ink for that. You know, use washes to give things depth. You use dry brush for details to make things sparkle. So you know, and that's just I'm not a professional. I'm not like Bo. I'm not like Decado. I'm not like, you know, I'm not like some of these, you know, Agile. You know, I've got a lot of stuff. Wet blends. I made my own wet palette when I was really heavily into it. Figured out how to do that. You know, I have never painted a metal mini, so I'm going to be practicing on the 4 that I have. But man, you know, it's I don't use, as somebody who doesn't use minis in games, I find painting minis to be kind of a Zen thing, you
Sure.
know, and it sparks the imagination. So you know,
Yeah. Well, I have two modes. One where I will sit there and play with one mini and take my time with it, which I find relaxing, and then other ones when I'm trying to paint an army or something. Like when I used to play
right.
sci-fi games and such. Um, if you do the methods right for both, they can both be fruitful. Combining them though and trying to manage a whole bunch of stuff if you're not doing it um, in assembly line order is kind of time consuming.
Yeah, no under consequences. He wants old school solid lead minis. Who
That's
don't.
right. You could throw at somebody and make it count.
Yeah. These are more like these are the metal ones, the pewter ones. They are cast. They do have the actual equipment to cast. They cast their own minis, so they are a manufacturer. They have a whole lot of them. They're just getting back up to production. Their old unit finally bid it, and they got a new one, but it's much bigger, newer, fancy, but yeah,
maybe I should break out. I've got not a large collection, but a good number of the old Grenadier lead miniatures. Which I'm sure I touched and then put my fingers in my mouth or something when I was younger.
yeah,
Did not treat with proper respect. But I've got some of those. I've just kind of got in storage. I don't know what to do with them.
yeah. Are they painted or are they unpainted?
Most are unpainted. I did paint maybe 20%, but I've got some of the box sets that featured Dave Arneson on the back sheet, the paper sheet that came with them. Um, uh, and so I have a lot that are unpainted.
Yeah. What is this Bo was talking about glazing? I think you have to
Ew.
on the metals you have to glaze or something, right? So that they you have to like make sure that they're he's talking about glazing. Yeah. You got to make sure so that the paint doesn't flake off or whatever. I think is one of the downsides to that. The paint doesn't stick as well to the metal as it does to the
Well,
other
you
minis.
need to really you need to prime things properly, of course.
Yeah.
And then then a finish coat a lot of times, to keep the paint from chipping. I used to use like the old tester's paint, and that stuff was pretty tough. It didn't come off that well, but it's not particularly good paint for my it's solvent based paint as opposed to water based.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Bob is saying that the old lead minis can rot to powder. Yeah, they do. They can form like a bloom, powdery bloom on them. But mine are
Oh,
actually pretty
is this
pretty shape.
basically the equivalent of rust? It's an
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
oxidation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mine
mean
are.
that
Mine are.
happened. That's a metal. That's a thing that happens with metals.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else did I have on my list? Oh, there was the Rob Kuntz article. Did you have a chance to read that at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it up handy or not. I posted a link in like some of our internal chats for it. Kind of interesting. Um, I I think I like Rob Kuntz. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah,
I think
he would be great to have on the show.
yeah. So oh no, man, these people gotta stop dying. I don't want. We've lost too many people. At any rate, go if you see it out there posted, read Rob Kuntz's article and see what you think of that. So,
Sure.
oh, Agile's got a bunch of pictures he sent me for painting. Oh wow. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share that. On the fly stuff here. Screen share. Let's see. Window. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. That's pretty impressive, dude. And he's got the flocking down on the, to give it the grass appearance.
Yeah, that's always nice when you finish the bases.
Oh, and those, of course, are a lot of the army stuff. But man, a lot of detail in that.
I'm planning on. I ordered a bunch of miniatures for Dragonbane that should be coming in. Well, supposed to be coming in August. I guess we're running out of time for that. So I was gonna do some assembly line painting. Bunch. It's mostly monsters. It's almost all monsters.
Yeah. So we'll see you, Greg. Take care. Yep.
Take care.
Yeah. His article was a little sending nudes to Jeff. No, they're painted minis, I swear. Oh my God. Yeah, Rob's article is definitely a little spicy, but I think he's hurt. By he felt personally attacked by some of the things that WotC's employees have been saying
because they did, because they personally attacked him, and
they
people he
attacked all of us, to
knew
be
and
honest.
loved. Yeah, go figure.
And some people say, "Oh, they don't need to really apologize to us." Well,
you know what? They could shove their apology, as far as I'm concerned. I don't.
Again, I would love to talk to Dan Ayub. I think Dan Ayub has the right ideas. The problem is I think that people inside of WotC are going to resist it. And I got into a little bit of hot water, I guess, on a stream because I suggested that Chris Cox from Hasbro needed to go. Yeah, everybody kind of agreed with that one. But then I also called Justice Armand and Mackenzie DeArmas. And I said, yeah, they need to go too. And people apparently I was outnumbered and said, well, what are you talking about? They do great stuff. Radiant Citadel? Really? That was not great stuff. That was the most awful piece of trash ever.
Well, okay. Now he's talking about no one of consequence says that Jason Toronto is self-hating Gardner. Okay, yeah. If that's a kind of an interesting point, right? It's like, oh, we're so sorry and we want everyone to be here. Then it's like, well, clearly this kind of company didn't have trouble driving people out and saying bad things about them. So, well, let's see some of those consequences that, as poor Orkchild says, let's see some of those consequences these people were so fond of talking about, right? If this is your stance now and that was wrong to do, well, then let's see consequences.
Yeah.
So if not, then do what you do and I'll do what I do, which is not buy your crap product.
So she lists herself as a senior game designer for Dungeons and Dragons, even though she's never designed a real game. Forbes 30 under 30.
Okay.
Who would buy Forbes now? I don't. I
have no interest in these people at all.
She's a self-insert. She's hijacked Tasha. That's basically, she's injecting her personal, politics into things. Justice Armand, kind of the same thing. What has he done that's of any consequence? Nothing. No offense, no one of consequence. These people really haven't done anything of note. And whatever they have done, at least of note, is known for the wrong reasons as being something god awful. That's I'm gonna stand behind that. You show me something that they've done that's good. Prove it to me.
Yeah, they can. I'm not interested at this point. Again, I can't say I would never be interested if they actually did something.
Yeah. I mean, if they did something that was stuck to the settings, stop all these stupid, moronic, idiotic, friggin'.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. Like Dan was saying about Dark Sun, it's like I don't, let's say they put out Greyhawk in it's like, wow, this is the story, behind it. It's like, this is real Greyhawk, but it's still 5e system. Well, no thanks. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to attack them for it or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, great, nice job. You actually stuck to the theme and did it right. But I'm still not going to buy it because it's 5e. It's just not
pictures.
what I want. Agile, we should have a show where you could just have a let's come on the show and we'll just have a show off your stuff.
Picture time, yeah. What?
Yeah.
Well, and we'll have Edgelord on. We'll have we'll get a bunch of people on.
Thank you,
Edgelord. I think Agile's trying to get me to chill out because he sees me getting frustrated. And it is. It's like
look. Here's the thing. We don't have to care about what WotC does, right? And we've talked about this before. This show is not about complaining about what WotC does, even though we've done a bit of that tonight, right?
Sure, we have.
Our goal is to hopefully be a positive resource or just some light entertainment or just hanging out for people who like role-playing games. And if that includes 5e people and you like what we do, great.
We welcome the 5e refugees, the people who think, I don't know what this new 5.5 pile of goo is. I enjoyed I enjoyed running 5e for several years. Yeah, it's a little superhero-y thing, and it got a lot more superhero-y thing after Tasha's came out. But no clothing is. I will hide your picture, Edgelord. If you
don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. Don't ask, don't tell. There are Janov 3655. Perfect response. Let me see if with so many great games out there, why is anybody still playing D&D? Or why is anybody still playing this current iteration of it? Because 5.5 is just garbage. I mean, it's utter trash. Now, 5th edition had a lot of great bones at it. It was good. I mean, it had the last good game designers worked on that. And I know some not quite as good game designers worked on 5.5, and then they just took it and often story gaming refugees. That's a good one. There's just so much other stuff out there that you can do.
Sure. Well, I got to get going here actually. But
I know.
Bob Paints Mini mentioned something about put out clean versions of BX and BECME.
That would go far. That would.
It would just pure reprints of the new box. They would make money on that probably.
Yeah.
But
not fuzzy scans. Yeah.
Again, Jeff, we talked about this before. Their big announcement. I thought, well, maybe they were going to do something like D&D Classic, with someone like Luke, as the figurehead at least.
And maybe they still will.
Maybe, but probably not, because their brand, I don't think they care about game design, to be honest with you. It's like they got the 5e thing and it works, I guess, as a system, and enough people are willing to accept it. And they're going to do the Universes Beyond thing and put out a ton of settings and sub settings and mini settings or whatever, and bury their customers in that, and hope that they keep spending money, and they don't care what the system is.
Okay, so in 9 minutes or 10 minutes, we've got Sci-Fi Snob coming up, and then of course the Babylon 5 retrospective on Wednesday. Just for those people that have joined us that missed that, what is the topic tonight? All the people we've lost, and
yes, we're going to highlight a few of them in their careers, and then we're going to talk also a little bit Space King.
Which I swear to God, I saw somebody had a Space King somewhere.
Well, their game was also announced yesterday or today, I think, too, on Kickstarter. So that's going to be interesting. And holy crap, is it expensive!
Really?
But
How much?
yeah,
Or
well,
you're gonna
the
save that for
very
the show?
basic. Well, I could just say it here quickly. The very basic version is $99, and it's like the basic version. If you really want to get the content, it's $300. From my perspective on what you're getting, not all the little extras like T-shirts and patches and stuff. This is just game, $300. So
I was visiting a game store here locally called Iron Wyvern. Talk to the guy every now and again when I go, and he had worked for Blizzard, EA at one point in time, and he's actually was showing off the StarCraft game. But man, and it's neat, but it's like $300 too.
there's a new StarCraft game.
This is not a digital game. This is a tabletop game.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because there was a StarCraft board game.
That's basically what
15
this
years
is.
ago. Okay.
You know how the models come in those, all kind of, and you have to clip them out and stuff like that. That's the way
Oh,
these
it's
are.
Bruce. Oh,
Yeah, all your
Mhm.
Zergs and stuff like that, and yeah, I can imagine all the Zergs you gotta clip out. But hey, that's injection molded. I think that's kind of a sign of that, if I'm not mistaken.
well,
So
are they? Do you have to assemble them, or are they just are they in?
I think some of them you do, and some of them
Okay.
you don't.
Now,
So
you know what? I'm right out of that. That's the Marvel game that came out a few years ago. Had that, and it's like, this is garbage. I know people, independent people, like Space King, for example. They're putting out full miniature sets, fully assembled miniatures, and if you're if you're a big IP like StarCraft or something, or Marvel, and you're putting out stuff on sprues, you're just ripping off the customer. Or, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe they're paying a huge amount for the IP, and they have to do that.
I think whoever's producing this probably paid a ton for the IP, and also there was probably a lot of production.
It's not a good value though for someone, unless you really love putting together models from sprues.
He had stocks. He had stacks of them on tables.
God,
and I was like,
my eyes are too old for that crap.
369, one house payment, 369, two house payment. Yeah. So, any rate, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up. Everybody, go. Be sure to like and subscribe. We got to get the numbers up. We're trying to hit 500 here before the end of the year, and 1,000 before February. Before YouTube tries to pull the rug under everybody. So be sure, like, subscribe, tell your buddies. Even if they're on the other side of the fence from us, they're welcome here. We're not going to slam them. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. And I don't think everybody is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but even if they're wrong. I also picked this up too. You know what this is?
No, I can't see it right now.
This is a mesh device.
Oh, radio stuff.
Radio stuff.
All right, well, so let's save that for next week.
So I got to play with it. Yeah,
that's interesting. That's an interesting topic. But
yep. Anyway, all right, Cam, we'll see you on the on Stops channel in 7 minutes.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for everybody for coming, and our guest, of course. I will talk to everyone later.
And I'm going to go ahead and provide the Discord link because I've been asked a couple of times, even though it's popped up in the chat. I got to look at let me see. And there you go. There's the Discord chat. Anybody else need any other questions? Otherwise, we'll see you. No one of consequence. I'm going to get you on the show sometime. You take care, everybody. And we'll have a great evening. And with that, we are out.